Sorry, I was about to get a drink real quick. So hello, and welcome to another episode of Cozy Cardigans podcast, vlogcast now. Like, a lot of you have responded about this new format. Sorry, let me scoot you over a little. Yeah, anyway, so a lot of you guys have responded about my new format, and pretty much everybody said that either way is fine, but also this one's good too because you like to see my little, when I do go out, my little video clips and stuff like that of Japan. So thank you so much for responding, and I think it is a bit easier for me to just snip clips over the course of a week or so and then just throw them all together, just because sometimes I don't have the I don't know, willpower, the wherewithal to gather everything all together and then do like an hour-long podcast episode. Sometimes it's just a bit overwhelming. So it's also nice to kind of have like a little journal. I like to look back and see where I was on a certain day and what I was doing. So it's kind of nice in general anyways. So let me just start all over. Hello, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. My name is Melanie, or Mel. I am the owner and dyer for Big Little Yarn Co. You can find me on Instagram at Big Little Yarn Co. I have a website, biglittleyarn.com, and I pretty much bring you along for like a week or so, and then I put it all together in one video and then you watch it. So not really like a usual podcast, but hope that's okay. You still see all my whips and FOs, and I also put up all the show notes in the description bar, you know. So yeah, so start of a new episode. I'm thinking this one will go out January, so this will probably be the first January episode. I do have a FO, and so I thought I'd just share that with you. I have not knitted on anything else other than this FO since I've last spoken to you from the last December episode. So yeah, just a little quickie. And also what I'm wearing my PJs underneath this, but because it's super cold today, I am wearing my Alden pullover by Jennifer Steingass. Yes. And this is made out of Swedish unspun wool, and I used like a gradient plate for the color work, and then just matched the sleeves. Yeah, this is super warm, so this is great for today. Yesterday I went to me and Tim went to Kyoto to our favorite market. I'm sure you saw some clips, but it snowed for the first time this year. It was really nice. The snow didn't stay, it just immediately melted on the ground, but it was like definitely a flurry for a little bit. But we had hamburgers and went vintage shopping, so that was fun. I did get, let me show you what I got. Also, if I didn't mention and you're new here, I live in Japan. I live in Hyogo, Japan. So we went to Kyoto, which is about an hour away via train from where I live. And there's this button lady who sells her buttons at this particular market. Sorry, some crinkling's gonna happen. Sorry. But I always get my buttons for my projects from her because they're all of them are vintage from around the world. So like France, England, some Japanese ones, some Czech Republic ones, but I have not started my DA cardigan, and as you know, if you've watched my last episode, I accidentally started on a test knit, so I'm working on the test knit right now. But I needed some buttons for the DA cardigan anyways, so I thought I'd get it. So I got these little guys, and if you see maybe I'll put the picture of the DA cardigan if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it uses 12mm diameter buttons. Yeah, so I got these black ones, and these are vintage French buttons. So I got a bunch of these to use for when the time is right. So that's just off to the side with my Grenouille Advent. And obviously I've opened up all my Advents, but there's just so many minis that I don't know if I would want to like go through all of them with you. I'm sure you've seen them all on Instagram or on social media. I also have all of my Big Little Yarn Co. Advents if you wanted to see what they all look like. They're all in my Instagram highlights, so you could go through and check those out. But yeah, I'm also expecting one more Advent. It's just been not stuck in the mail, but it got sent out kind of late and it's been in the mail, so that'll be like a January Advent thing. So what have I been working on the past couple days? So during Christmas, and today is the 27th, so Christmas and the 26th. It's kind of busy on Christmas because we didn't really do anything. We pretty much just had a nice lunch. Things don't close here during Christmas. Christmas isn't really a big holiday, I guess, like a national holiday or anything like that. So people do get festive, and people do go out. So we went to a restaurant for lunch, and then we had dinner with my aunt and uncle for Christmas dinner. And here you eat fried chicken and cream stew and a Christmas cake. Those are the Christmas foods here, so we did that. So that was fun. So Christmas I didn't really knit too much, and then yesterday was the Kyoto market, so I was out all day, and then I just knocked out when I came home because my energy levels are just low because if you don't know, I'm pregnant. So yeah, obviously once I go outside and then come back home, I'm just asleep for the rest of the day. So anyway, so I was only able to knit a little bit, but I do have an FO. So I got some socks. So these are my last, I think this will be my last, yeah, these are my last FOs for 2021. It's already 2022. So these are some vanilla socks that I just made up the little stitch pattern for. It's just garter stitch with like a slip stitch ribbing. And this colorway was my Ghibli Yarn Club colorway for June. So I do a Ghibli club in my shop. Right now it's on a hiatus until I am off of maternity leave next year, so quite a while. Yeah, because my dyeing output has been a little lower than usual, obviously, and obviously going to be taking maternity leave. So this is from June. This is Kiki's Delivery Service, Town with an Ocean View. Maybe I could put the inspiration palette here. But yeah, so it includes the main color and then the contrast color, and I love it. And I do have, I only use about 50 grams for my socks because I do like them a little shorter and my foot is pretty small. So I'm going to use up the leftovers to make baby booties for my son so we can match. So that'll be really cute. So I'm gonna do that. But last episode I was talking about how I wanted to get these off the needles so that I could start on some sock tubes, and it's perfect timing. I really wanted to finish this because tomorrow I do have a gestational diabetes test that I have to take for the pregnancy. I mean, if you don't know, I won't go too far into it, but it's a very usual test to take when you're pregnant. So it usually takes a couple hours at the doctor's office, so you kind of just have to sit there and either do nothing or knit. So I'm gonna knit. So right after this video I'm going to wind up or cake up this guy. This I've had for, I want to say like 2-3 years now. I just never have used it. This is from Tiny Human Knits. This is her Morgan colorway, and it's actually technically a Christmas colorway. Now that I look at it, it is very obvious, but when I bought it, when I saw it and I bought it, I actually didn't know it was a Christmas colorway because it looks like, I don't know, it just looks like a regular non-Christmassy colorway. I'm not really a Christmas person at all, so it's kind of cool that it works both ways. Obviously it's past Christmas now, but I still would really like to cast this on. I do really like the colors in here. Yeah, I don't really remember what order the colors go because I bought it so long ago, but now when I look at it in skein form, I could definitely see that it's a Christmas colorway. But yeah, I am going to make tube socks out of this. And last episode I also talked about my heel mods because I do have a high instep, and so my heel is a bit pointy or like jutty out, and so afterthought heels don't fit very well, but I modified it. So I do have a link to that. I guess I'll put it down below again. So I'm going to be doing that for these guys as well. So I'm going to be knitting on that all day tomorrow, however long I'm at the doctor's office. And yeah, that's literally all I've been doing. And also I've just been knitting on my stripey blanket. I just keep it in a roll when I'm not working on it, but it's about the size of my head now, which is nice. So yeah, nothing much. I'm probably just gonna skein this up, and then I'm gonna work on my test knit, which I haven't done anything since last episode, so I didn't really bring it here to show you. But yeah, that's my little intro check-in. I hope you're all doing well, because I think I'm gonna be posting this after the New Year. So I hope New Year's went well for you. I hope it went well for me too. I don't know. So yeah, I'll see you around, and I'll check in once I don't know, more things happen, I guess. So yeah, see you later. Hi guys, just wanted to give a quick little update on what I've been working on. So I've just been pretty much knitting, well, no, I lied. I was about to say I've been knitting exclusively on my current test knit that I am participating in. I am currently test knitting the Chalet Day sweater by Samantha Guerin. Not sure how to pronounce her name, but currently in my bedroom because Tim is off for the New Year holidays here. Here New Year's is a very big holiday, so most people get about like a week or so off. So Tim is off starting today, which is nice. But anyways, so I finished the color work portion of the Chalet days. I love how the color work ended up. So I used pretty much an entire 50-gram skein of the Knitpicks Stroll fingering that I held double. So I held that double to make it a worsted weight-ish, since the pattern does call for worsted weight. And then not sure if I've mentioned this, but this is Kenyarns Catfish colorway in his Stratus DK, and I chief gauge by sizing up a needle size. And yeah, it's going really well. There's 2 needles so I just finished the short rows in the back, and then I kind of really wanted to see how the collar worked up, because when I was knitting the yoke, the opening of the collar seemed so big to me for some reason. So it was kind of like bothering me, since I was just like, wasn't sure if it was supposed to be a boat neck or if I was supposed to pick up less stitches. But so yeah, I was just curious about how the yoke and stuff would lay on me once I finished with the short rows and I split for sleeves. So I'm going ahead and I'm just gonna finish the collar, and then I'm gonna split for sleeves, yeah, and then continue on. But so far I'm really loving it. I really like the colorwork pattern here. It's very intuitive, I would like to say. I didn't have to keep going back and forth with the chart, and I really like how it pops against the kind of variegated background. Yeah, really loving this. I think it's gonna look really good. So I've been working on that, as well as been working on a little baby knit. So I'm just knitting a little beanie to match Tim's. I made Tim this olive green colored beanie. Maybe I could put a picture here. But I also had this olive green baby yarn that I bought like a long time ago, way before I was pregnant. So it's nice that I haven't used it for so long that I can use it for baby knits now. So I'm just making our baby a little matching beanie so that he can match with his dad. Super cute. So that's just like a little palette cleanser. And then, oh, the yarn I'm using is this, by the way. It's Daruma wool. It's Yawaraka Ramu, which is soft lamb, I want to say in English. But yeah, just like a regular baby yarn from the craft store. And I also received a yarn package from a while, or not from a while back. I just received it yesterday, but this is a pre-order from a while back. Sorry for some crinkling. Sorry. Okay, no more crinkling. So I honestly got this so long ago that I don't remember what the colorway name is. And I totally forgot to look it up before I talk to you. So I'll put the colorway name here. But this is a Japanese indie yarn dyer called Lemon Jelly Pool. This is her label. And I got her 3 skeins of this colorway in her merino sock base, and oh, I love it. It's got blue. It's like a really grungy. It's like a grungy. I don't know. I want to say it's like a very patinated colorway or something. But yeah, it's super pretty. Going into my stash. Probably will make a cardigan out of it or something, but very happy with it. So I got this like a while back, maybe 2 months ago or so, as a pre-order. So totally forgot about it. Yeah, I don't even remember the name of it right now, but super happy to have gotten it in the mail. So yeah, that is my little check-in. I haven't been doing much. I've just been knitting as usual. We had lunch. We had some mazesoba. Maybe I'll put a picture here. There's this really good mazesoba spot near our house. Mazesoba is like it's like noodles without soup, and it's like this saucy noodles without soup, I want to say, if you don't know what that is. But yeah, so I'm gonna go get back to knitting. Probably get Japanese barbecue for dinner. So maybe if I remember, I'll put some clips of that if you're interested. But yeah, it's gonna be just knitting. So I'll talk to you later when I have something else to show you. So, see ya. Guys, I am checking in with you. So today is the 30th. Yeah, I've just been knitting, nothing else much. So I am currently on the sleeves of my Chalet days. So I finished the collar. And then I knit about maybe ½ an inch on the body just to give it a little bit of structure when I picked up for the sleeves. And then I just put some stoppers on my interchangeables, and I'm currently knitting the sleeves 2 at a time as usual. And I'm not at all alternating skeins, so you could kind of see the difference between the skeins, but I don't think I really mind. It looks kind of apparent on camera, but it's not super apparent when you look at it in person, so we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, so I haven't been alternating skeins, so I don't know, it makes me worry when I look at it on camera now that I see it. Like that sleeve compared with this sleeve, but I don't know, maybe it's not too bad. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But yeah, so that's been going, and currently doing decreases like I said, and since decreases on sleeves for me kind of are sluggish to me, I guess. It's a bit monotonous. I've also casted on my DAA cardigan. So I wasn't planning on casting on till after I finished the Amara sweater, but I can't work on the Amara sweater while I work on this sweater because it uses the same needles. And I don't really want to purchase another size 8 because I don't usually use that size needle. So I casted on the DAA cardigan, currently in mid-row, but I love how it's working up. So I'm using the Grenouille Co. Advent calendar minis for these. I'm pretty much following it exactly to pattern. The pattern calls for 2 different colors to stripe with, and I'm obviously just using whatever colors I pick up. I'm not really doing too much like color management. The only thing that I'm kind of making sure is that each stripe is like you could tell the difference between each stripe, so I try not to like match like 2 grays together like this. I try to make sure that they're like 2 separate colors so that you could see the stripes a bit more clearly. But other than that, I've just been grabbing what I feel like would be nice in the next color, and so far it's a really fun knit. For the ends, I've been weaving in ends as I go using the weave and Steven method, so you can kind of see how that looks over here. So that way I don't have to deal with ends. These ends are from the cast on, but for the color changes I make sure to weave in as I go because there's going to be a lot of ends to weave in, and you can't really see the ends, or you can't really tell the ends if you use the weave and Steven method. So that's been going well. And then this stitch marker was included with the advent calendar, so that is going well. And I also wanted to share a few acquisitions because well, I showed you the lemon jelly pool before, but I also got one more pre-order skein in, and also a couple skeins from my Christmas present because Tim's family does a Secret Santa, so my Secret Santa got me some yarn. And also I wanted to share the full skein that was part of the Grenouille Co. Advent. So let me share that first. So this is Wolfsbane. So this was the full skein included with the Grenouille Co. Advent. It is so pretty. And just so you all know, all these colors, or all of these skeins that I just received, they're all brown, which just happened to turn out that way because I didn't know what color this was going to be. And then the pre-order was a club colorway, so it was going to be a surprise, happened to be brown. And then the I gave my Secret Santa some yarn ideas that I would have liked, and then they just happened to choose the brown color one that I chose, so everything happens to be brown. But anyways, this is Wolfsbane from Grenouille Co. Yeah, super pretty. And then this is the club colorway. So this, I am part of Olan's, I believe it's called something Night. I'll put, maybe I could write what it is here, but it's by Olan's Mills, or the company is Olan. You probably know them from her hand-dyed yarn. They also have a mill where they spin their own yarn. So I signed up for their Mill Spun Yarn Club. So this is the first installment. This is super pretty. I don't remember the name. I'll put the name up. If I do find it, I know they posted about it on their Instagram, so if I find the name, I'll put it up. But it's a super pretty, let me see. It's kind of hard to show. It's kind of hard to show like the true color. I guess if I back up a bit, you could kind of see like how chocolatey brown it is. But there's also these bits of like blue. And I'm sure if I opened it up, you'll be able to see more. But there's like some flecks of other colors in here that kind of makes this brown like not like a true brown. But yeah, it's a very complex color and I really love this. So I'm super excited to see. I think I signed up for their 3-month club. So I'm excited to see what comes next. And then for my Secret Santa gift, I requested, or one of the yarns on my list was this. This is Amble by the Fiber Co. So also brown. And yeah, this is their Amble base. It's a fingering weight base. It is 70% wool, 20% alpaca, 10% nylon. And let's see, what's the colorway name? The colorway name is Fair Hill. So I got 2 skeins of this. And I was thinking I could make like, use this plus some yarn that I have in my stash to make like some kind of colorwork sweater or something. So yeah, this is also brown. And then there's this brown. And then there's this brown. So it's just brown all around, which I don't mind, honestly. Brown goes with anything. So yeah, so that is my acquisition, my little acquisition corner there. So yeah, today's the 30th. It's like that weird time when everything's quiet, and here in Japan, New Year's is a big deal, so a lot of the shops and stores are closed for New Year's holidays. So everyone's just at home, just hanging out. So that is also what we're doing. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to knitting, and I will let you know if anything changes, or at the next update I'll talk about whatever I'm doing. So yeah, hopefully this episode isn't too boring because nothing's really happening, but yeah, thanks for following along so far. I'll see you later. Hello everybody. So this is gonna be my little outro video for this little vlog episode. Hopefully, I feel like I say this every single episode. I hope it wasn't too boring. But I wanted to do a little roundup of the current state of my whips before I start filming for the next episode. So today is the 6th, January 6th. Tim started work today. and I'm going to be slowly kind of starting work. I'm hoping to do one more small shop update before I take off for maternity leave in beginning of March. So yeah, you've maybe have seen some kind of previews if you follow Amy Share Makes on Instagram or on YouTube. She's shared her new sock pattern that's coming out that I'm making sock sets for, so that will be in the shop update. And I will also have other ready to ship skeins as well. Anyways, more news on that later. For now, oh, and then in case you're wondering, this is the Clove Sweater by Rachel Kumihara, and this is knit with my own hand-dyed yarn, Big Little Yarn Co. in the Shiso colorway. Well, the main color is Wisteria actually, and then the alpaca, Surrey alpaca lace is in Shiso. So that's that. This is my favorite sweater currently. So let me tell you about my whips. So first off is my Chalet Day sweater by Samantha Guerin. So you have seen that I finished the yoke and the collar. Looks like this. And I like to knit my sleeves first. I just like to not have so much body bulk while I do the sleeves, and I do sleeves 2 at a time. So currently, everything's all twisted together because it's 2 at a time, but currently knitting the ribbing for that. And I did not, I'm not sure if it's obvious or not, but I did not alternate skeins for the sleeves, because alternating skeins and doing 2 at a time is like really difficult. So I did not alternate skeins for the sleeves, but I am planning on alternating skeins for the body, because if you can see, this sleeve is a bit more orange than this one. I feel like you can't really tell if once I put it on, it's really difficult, but if it's put side by side like this, you could kind of see what I mean by this being more orange. So I don't really mind that, because once you put it on your body, the sleeves are kind of separated and you can't really tell, I feel like. So yeah, but I've already talked about the yarn this episode, so I feel like I don't have to repeat it, but it's that Kenyarns in the colorway Catfish, like I said. And yeah, so that's going. I'm hoping to finish the ribbing on that today, so I could just pick up the sleeve, pick up the stitches for the body and just knit on that. So it's kind of like a mindless knit going on right now, and that's going pretty quickly because it's a pretty big gauge. It's on a worsted, the pattern's on blah blah blah. The pattern calls for worsted weight yarn, although I am using DK with a needle size up to hit gauge. So that's that. Another whip that I have in this box here, because that's what the advent calendar came in, is my, let me figure out how to show you this. Just take this. So I've caked up all the advent skeins from my Grenouille Co. advent. I did take out a few warmer color skeins. Let me show you. So it was a 24-day mini skein and then one full skein advent, but 5 of the colors were pretty warm toned, and I don't know if you remember seeing that box down there. It's mostly greens and blues, and I thought that since I'm using them all in one project, forcing these in would kind of not make sense. So I've put these aside and I'll use them for something else some other time, but these are also super pretty. I caked these up because I thought I would use them, but when I added them into the project, I had to rip it out because yeah, the colors just didn't work because it was a bit too warm. So I took out 5. So I took out 5 mini skeins, and I have, was that 19 mini skeins left over, which is a good amount. So yeah, see, these are all like blue, some purple, gray. So it's a bit more cohesive, and I don't have to worry about like the colors matching as much. I could just pick and choose the next color and go with it. So this is my DAA cardigan. I told myself I wouldn't cast on, but I did. I love it so far. It is so much fun to knit. I'm making this quite oversized. I don't know, you probably can't tell because it's a bit scrunched up, but I think if I were to follow the size recommendation, I would be knitting a size 2 for like a slight oversize, but I really wanted this to be like a project where I use a lot of the mini skeins, and also I think that it'd be really cute as a super oversized cardigan. So I am knitting the size 3, and yeah, I love how it's turning out so far. So these are the stripes. I don't really have any rules about what goes where. I pretty much just look in the box and choose. These are all only 1 repeat though. I haven't had enough stripes to have to repeat colors. Oh, except for this gray here. But I'm just trying to make it really scrappy looking, and also another thing is that I try to make sure that there's enough contrast between each stripe. So like I wouldn't want to put this purple next to this, you know, so that you could, I just want to be able to clearly see that there's stripes in the sweater. So that's the only thing. Other than that, I just pretty much go with the flow. I'm almost done with the, I guess you could call them kind of like yoke increases, and then there's also sleeve increases here. So I'm just going to show it to you upside down because it's really hard to show. So you do these shoulder increases, and then you kind of like how you would do a yoke sweater, you split for the body and the sleeves, and then you knit the body and then the sleeves. I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to do with the sleeves, if I wanted the colors to match or not, but I was thinking about it, and then I feel like matching sleeves but a non-matching body would not make really a lot of sense. Like I think it would look a little weird, but if all 3 parts, so sleeve, body, sleeve, all didn't match, it would look like I did it on purpose, because I don't think I would have enough mini skein length to do a perfectly matching sleeve, body, sleeve stripe. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna make it all scrappy, not matching anything. So the only parts that really kind of match would be this top part, and then after that point everything would just be a little crazy, which I don't mind, and I think I like that better, and it's a lot less worrying about whether or not I have enough yarn to make like an entirely perfectly identical sleeve body situation. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I was knitting on this like I would knit 1 color stripe, which is 4 rows, and then I would knit like a certain amount on here and then just kind of like go back and forth, which is why I was able to get up to this point. So yeah, this is super fun, potato chippy knitting. Like, it's just really fun to be able to choose the next color. So I'm having a great time with this, so that's going well. And then another, like, not really cast on, but I don't know if you saw in my stories that I accidentally made a Mobius strip out of this, but this is my sock tube. This is my sock tube that I've been knitting on while I've been out and about. This colorway is Morgan by Tiny Human Knits. She unfortunately does not ship to Japan, so I can't get her yarn, but I love it so much. So this is like my last colorway of hers, so it's very special to me. So yeah, it's just a tube sock. I did a provisional cast on for the end because I don't know if it's usually like this, but I know this is my first sock tube, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I know some people do knit the cuff and then they knit the cuff for however many rows, and then they go ahead and knit the tube, and then they knit the cuff again, which makes sense because, you know, each sock requires a cuff. But the thing is that if I was thinking about it, and if I cast on the cuff and then knit the cuff, knit the sock tube, and then cast off with the cuff, then one sock would be a cuff down and then one sock would be a toe up technically. So the cast on and the bind off wouldn't match for a pair, which would bother me, I think, because they do look a little different. Well, not look a little different, but they might feel a little different because a cast on and a bind off would obviously are two different things. So since I would be bothered by that, I just went ahead and did the provisional cast on, and then I will pick it up and knit the cuff with the contrast color, and then same thing for the other end, so that way both socks will be like a toe up type of sock, if that makes sense, so that the cuffs will match. I hope that makes sense, and I'm not sure if that's how people usually do it, or if people just go for it and just knit the cuff and then the tube and then the cuff. I don't know, let me know if what you do, because this is my first sock tube. So yeah, so it's just a regular stockinette tube. It's going really well. I knit like about an inch, and then I realized I accidentally made a Mobius strip. So this is actually like a recast on, but which wasn't a big deal. I only had like a tiny bit, so not sure what happened though. But this is like a 1 day of knitting on train, so it's not like a full intensive day of knitting, but like whenever I was on a train, because I went to Kobe the other day, so I'm pretty sure I put some clips on. So during that day, whenever I had like time to just sit when I'm like sitting and waiting at a restaurant, or when I was on the train, I would just knit on this, and I got a pretty good amount done. Yeah, so that's going well too. And then one new cast on. I feel like every single episode I've casted on something that I wasn't planning on casting on, but I guess that's just life. So so this here is a cast on for Tim, my husband. So I don't know if you've seen my Moreland mittens. They are a beautiful pattern, and I knit them up for my trip to Tokyo, like maybe the beginning of December. and they're super warm and super cozy, and Tim's been super jealous of hand knit mittens. Like he's been wanting a pair, and usually his skin is quite sensitive, so it's very difficult to find yarn for him for when I want to make him hats or garments. So we just didn't really have time to like go look at yarn, but I had this yarn in my stash and it's a little scratchy. I used this back before I knew that he had sensitive skin. I used it for a beanie, and he can't wear the beanie at all because it's too sheepy, rustic. Like it's not like the softest wool. I feel like I would be okay. I'm okay with wearing the beanie that's made out of this yarn, but Tim's not. So but I had an extra full skein of it that I didn't really know what to do with, because it's a very it's technically a DK, but well, it lists as a DK, but it's kind of like a worsted, I think, because it's so woolly. There's a lot of trapped air that goes into it, and when you knit it up, it kind of acts as though it's a worsted rather than a DK. So I didn't know what to do with it because I just had like one full skein. Tim already had a hat that he can't wear anyway, so I couldn't make a hat out of it. And but he wanted gloves, and he tried on my Moreland mittens, which is made of unspun Swedish wool, which is a little scratchy as well, but it didn't bother him as much because he is I don't know if I've ever told anyone this, but he is a antique furniture repairer at an antique furniture shop, so he has pretty rough hands. So although the rest of his body is pretty sensitive, his hands aren't. So so yeah, I thought he was asking for mitts, and then I knew that his hands weren't super sensitive, so we tried these out. I like knitted about an inch of it, and then he kind of like stuck it on his wrist, and he said he's pretty sure it would be okay if it's just on his hands. So I'm knitting mitts for Tim. These are so you can't really see it very well because the yarn is so dark, maybe a little. So there's a bit of like a twisted stitch pattern here, and then there's some seed stitch. But these are the, oh, what are they called? Cable Dad mitts. And Tim really liked the name because he's gonna be a dad, and also he wanted some like something textured that you can tell is a hand knit mitt, because he really likes to tell people when things are made by me. So excuse me. But yeah, so yeah, I'm making, oh, who's it by? Cable Dad mitts by Knit Darling, Alexis Winslow, excuse me. It's been super dry here because the heater's on, so if you hear rumbling, that's the heater. But yeah, Cable Dad mittens by Alexis Winslow. I'm just on the thumb increases, and again, I'm knitting them 2 at a time because mitts are like socks. I can't be bothered to knit them twice. So once the right now the pattern is the same for both hands, so once each pattern, you know, changes for whichever hand, obviously I will knit accordingly. But these this pattern's pretty nice because he wanted convertible mitts, because, you know, he likes to be able to be on his phone while he wears the gloves. So this pattern has full mittens, fingerless gloves, and then like convertibles, which is what I'm going to make for him. So it has all 3 types of hand accessory, I guess you can say. So it's a really cool pattern, and so far the pattern instructions have been clear and really nice. The stitch pattern is easy to memorize, so that's been really nice. The only thing is that the yarn is quite thick, so it's a worsted. It calls for a worsted weight yarn on size US 5 needles, and which is a bit tough on my wrists. Like makes a very thick fabric, which is good, which is what I'm looking for, but also it's a bit tough. So I like kind of switch off between these three whips. I kind of just circle through, but I am trying to concentrate more on this because he's like super excited about these mitts. So I've been trying to work on these and trying to bust them out so that he could have these to wear while it's still cold. And yeah, I've also been kind of working on my blanket, but honestly, I feel like you can't really tell how much I get done per episode because I don't really keep a stitch marker on here, but yep, there it is. Right now it's pretty like bluish green. It kind of looks not as scrappy at some bits because the blue and the green are pretty similar, but that's okay. And then there's some orange, but that's been going well. It's still in a cute little burrito size. And then I also got one acquisition. So I don't know if you follow along on Instagram, but so I signed up for their what is it called? Their mill club, 3-month club subscription. So this was the November month, which is this brown with like different colored specks. It's kind of hard to capture like the true color. The color keeps changing. But it was this brown. And then the December one came in, and it's really similar. And I know that some people have emailed her and she did like a little story kind of apology, I guess, of that she understands that they look way too similar to be considered. Well, I mean, I could tell that they're different, but they're really similar. For it to be in like a same club, like a 3-month club, usually you would prefer for each month to be a different color, and these two are really similar. So like it's even hard for me to see which month was. So this was the November month, and then the December month came in, and it's this. So it's really similar, and I know she knows that, or I know they know that some people were upset about it. I'm not upset about it. I'm more so surprised that they didn't notice that they were two very similar colors, although they're both beautiful. I just don't really know what to do with them because they're so similar. So this is again the December one, so it's like a purple version of this one. They're super similar. So even if I take it back here, you can kind of see they're similar but like slightly different. I kind of wish that they were the same because then I could use them in like a same project, but like maybe I could helical stripe it and it could be in the same sweater, but I feel like that might be a bit of a waste to do that. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with these, and I'm not sure what she plans on doing, because she did say that she was going to try to rectify the situation, which I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I think they're pretty, but they are so similar that I don't know what to do with them. Like, I wish I could use them in the same project, but I know that if once I knit it up, and if I do color work or I do stripes, like it's gonna look too similar to even know the difference, and it might be a waste, you know, to use them together if I know that they're two separate colorways, if that makes sense. Like I want them to, if they're two different colorways, I want them to shine in their own way. But if I put them together, they wouldn't, but also they're the same yarn. So this is their Miera mill yarn. So let me show you like the December colorway a little closer, because it is a super pretty dark, it's like a very dark plum purple, if you could see. This is like a very dark brown. Yeah, they're both pretty. It's like so close, but just a little off. So yeah, I mean, I could see why some people were upset. I'm not the type of person to be upset about this kind of thing, but I am curious about what she meant by her rectifying the situation. So yeah, I mean, not upset, but very, I don't know, it's very odd that they saw this and didn't think that they were too similar. I don't know, I'm not sure. I mean, to each their own, right? But they're both beautiful, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, this is like my only acquisition. Let's see, I think that's about it for this episode, guys. Yeah. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope that the beginning of January has been gentle for you. I hope that if you've made any resolutions that you're still excited about them, and if you haven't made resolutions like me, that you're doing well. But thank you so much for joining me again for another episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know first if you have knit tube socks. What do you do for cuffs? Are you like me? Is what I do the usual thing, or do you do tube cuff? Or if you are not a tube sock knitter, let me know what you've been knitting on as usual, or what you've been making. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well and are staying healthy and safe, and I'll see you next episode.